Hello, this is Katon from HIRAX, and you are headbangers, I hope. You are watching Stormbringer, Austrian heavy zine. Stay metal forever or die.
The band formed a long time ago, right? In 1984.
Oh yeah.
And that's a long time. It was like 11 years then. Yeah.
Yeah, we started out back in 1984, basically, besides coming out of the garage, straight out of the garage, practicing and writing music, writing our own songs. That was important to us. We didn't want to be a cover band or tribute band, any of that shit. We wanted to write our own music. And then we started doing shows, and believe it or not, more people showed up than we thought would show up. And we started attracting a lot of attention, and then we figured we should do a demo, so we recorded a 4-song demo that got to Metal Blade Records, and that's how we got signed. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, it just got crazy from that, A lot of magazines out of England and Germany started picking up and reviewing the demo, and then we released our first album. But yeah, 84 was the beginning of the whole thing. It all started for us. But we've been around before that, a little bit earlier, like 82, 83.
We got a different name, right?
Yeah, different names, and we were playing locally with bands like Slayer and Metallica. We all came out of the same area. So we have a long history with bands like Metallica and Slayer and Dark Angel, Megadeth, stuff like that.
But how was it to just watch all those bands you just mentioned grow and grow? All the time bigger, and then HIRAX just stayed in the underground all the time.
It was cool though. I mean, for me, I never had any weirdness about that because I knew what we wanted to do. I mean, I think when you start your band, you have to kind of have a vision about what style you want to do, and if you want to go commercial or stay true to whatever style. For us, it's always been about the underground metal. So I mean, obviously people like money, but it's never been about money for us. It's about putting out music from the heart and being true to what we believe in, which is thrash metal. So I mean, but even now, like years later, now we're picking up in popularity. So it's not like we got into it to be popular. We got into it because we love the music. But it's kind of cool once you start getting bigger, and then you can make a little bit more money and travel. Like now we travel the world. So it might have taken us 30 something years, but better late than never.
Yeah, but are you still in contact with all those old friends from the Bay Area scene or something?
Megadeth, Exodus, all the Bay Area bands, Testament, Death Angel. Metallica not so much, just because they're a different band than they were when we started out. They're a way different organization.
The money changes and
money and fame, and sometimes, I mean, not to say bad things about them, but they're in a different world than we are. We're real happy with being a part of the metal scene that we come from, and they're way different. I mean, they're doing stuff with people like Lady Gaga. We're not, and that's their thing, but that's not our thing. We would much rather keep doing what we do and play with heavy-ass metal bands. That's our thing, and we're proud of that.
On cool festivals in the woods.
Yeah, I love festivals in the woods or the forest, wherever you can. Do metal is the best, But
forest is metal.
Yeah, it's as metal as it gets. So yeah, I'm happy with where we're at. But good for those bands. I mean, that's the path they chose. It's just we choose a different path. Yeah.
There was a little break in the history between 1989 and 97? No.
Yeah, I'd say probably right around
10 years around.
Yeah, 10 to 13 years, probably more like 13. Yeah. I took time off, but also I was still in the music business. I just wasn't playing in the band. I was actually learning, because when we started out, we didn't know anything about the business. Like, people don't realize there's a business involved too, besides practicing and all that and writing music. But so I worked at some record labels. I worked in record stores, and I learned a lot about distribution of records, and that helped out because I always wanted to still be hands-on and involved in all the music. I wanted to do distribution ourselves, so that way the records would get out to the fans at a better price, because whenever there's a middleman, they tack more money onto it. So we're still way involved, even though we sell way more records now than we used to. We have to keep up on all the distribution and who we deal with and what record labels we're working with. But I like our DIY ethic. Do it yourself, you know.
You got your own record label
Yeah,
as well,
Black
right?
Devil Records, and that's helped because we've been able to work with whoever we want. Like, there's really no restrictions with what we do, and I'm proud of that, you know. Like, even this tour, we did this without any record label support. This is all done by us, you know. We're very, very true to the roots that we came up on. So, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I took like 13 years off, learned a lot about the business end of it, and then when I met my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she thought I was crazy because I wasn't doing music, so she pushed me and said you should start HIRAX again, and she was actually right. I didn't really want to do it, but she kind of nudged me, and then once we started playing shows and I saw the fans again, that's really what matters to me, is meeting the fans. And
did you expect the fans still to be there when you returned?
No, I didn't know how it still worked because I wasn't really involved in that side of things. But once we came back, and even on this tour, the fans that are coming out, that some of them wanted to see us 30 years ago. And we got fans that bring old letters from like when we used to do snail mail and mail packages to them and stuff. So yeah, the fans are the number one reason which we're doing it. But it's also now that the band's actually bigger than we were in the 80s, so it's kind of a good thing. I think learning, you know, like when we were a younger band, we would have self-destructed because we didn't know all these things. Like even, you know, a mobile home, you know, that's rent every day, you know, gas mileage, tolls. Like, you know, European tours are different than American tours. There's really barely any tolls in the United States. Here there's tolls almost everywhere you go.
Mountain roads and everything.
So learning the business side, but I think that 13 years off was actually a good thing now that I look back at it, you know. So it worked out good, and now the band's, you know, still going strong, and we're recording. We're going to do a new record for 2019. So yeah, fuck yeah, things are good.
So thanks to your girlfriend for bringing you back.
Yeah, and she's still with me. That's amazing. So
that's important.
Are good. Yeah.
And there are many the thrash genre. They revived it in the last years. Yeah. Last five years, let's say. Right. And there are so many young bands like kiddies, you know, like 18-year-old kids,
like call them baby thrashers.
Yeah, they look like we did in the 80s.
Yeah, totally. But that shows you we were right, though. Like all of us that were into the music back then, who would have thought 30 years, 20 years later that it would be popular and like you'd have a whole new generation of thrash metal kids. And a lot of those bands open up shows for us, so it's really cool to see, you know, the transition of that to now, you know, or from the past to now. But then also a lot of the old school bands are still going strong too, so that's awesome. Like you've got the new school, the old school, and it's kind of coming together. And then for us, it's important to do these kind of festivals because we play with a lot of different genres of metal. So yeah, it's still going strong, man. And the thrash metal thing, I think, helped a lot from the 80s to now. I mean, that's 30-something years of history. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, but most of the bands were still there when all this grunge and alternative shit came out. Like Forbidden or something, they did records all the time. But nobody noticed them because it was not the trend, you know?
Yeah, the trend's always, especially in the United States. It's a lot different in Europe, though. What I've learned from coming here is that people that they have a good memory. They don't have in the United States, it's kind of a short-term memory where they'll like grunge one minute or they'll like hard rock or punk rock, which is fine, but in Europe,
whatever is popular at the moment.
But in Europe, a lot of people they've stuck with metal for many decades. You know, so that's why it's great. And even in South America, when we tour there, it's unbelievable.
They're hardcore.
Yeah, they're crazy fans down in South America. So, you know, we tend to go where our scene is at. We don't really we're not trying to be something big, fancy, and commercial. We're trying to be a real metal band. That's all we believe in.
Yeah, I think that's what you are.
Yeah, true. True to this day. You know, we haven't stopped. I mean, even when I took time off, I still listen to this kind of music. But now it means even more to me because it's so many years later, and just seeing the fans come to our shows with their kids. Like now we got 2-3 different generations coming to our shows, so that like their dads and their moms played HIRAX records for them, and the kids are into it. So it's
wearing the old clothes of
the
parents,
the jackets, the battle vest, the bullet belts, all of it, and I love seeing that. It's really cool.
Yeah, and remarkable thing is you are one of the few thrash singers. You sing
live, I guess.
Yeah, you sing. The others scream or they can't sing. I don't know.
For me, it was just an obvious choice because I didn't want to be like. I like a lot of different styles of bands. Like, you know, we're really good friends with bands like Celtic Frost and Hellhammer and Bathory. I mean, we go way back with those bands. We were all pen pals and we all tape traded, you know.
Yeah.
And even like bands like Sodom. But I thought we should be our own identity. You know, those bands have their identity, and I always just wanted to have our own identity. And it worked out really well. In the beginning, a lot of people didn't know how to take it. They were kind of thrown off by our style. But now it seems that people have, over the years, gotten used to what we do, you know. It's pretty cool.
But you mentioned Hellhammer and Celtic Frost. Is it true that... I know it's an old story that the logo was designed by Tom for
awesome. Yeah, he's an old dear friend of mine, and I've known him since at least 82, 83. And the story is I sent him a demo, the first HIRAX demo, and he loved the demo, but he hated the logo. So he's like, can I draw a logo? And I was like, sure. I didn't know what he was going to come up with. But like 2 weeks later, a letter showed up, and the logo was in there, folded up in a letter. And I unfolded it, and I saw the logo, and we've been using that same logo ever since. But yeah, he designed it. He actually designed the HIRAX logo at the same time he's designed the Celtic Frost logo. Okay. So that's a pretty...
So it wasn't a...
It's a good bit of history.
He had to run.
Yeah, and it's a good bit of history for kids to know. Like, they don't realize there's a lot of history between us and Hellhammer and Celtic Frost. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm proud of it, and he's a great guy. Tom's one of the most legit guys, I think, in this metal business. You know, hell yeah.
As you are the only remaining member of the original lineup, HIRAX was always like a revolving door to musicians. Is it? I think you have a steady lineup for the last couple of years, but is it better now with a steady lineup?
Well, it's obviously it's better because you get to know each other more, and you we've been writing music together for a while. The only reason there were lineup changes is because a lot of people, when they get into this business, they think like you're going to be making Slayer money right away, and that's not the way it is. You know, like you got to work hard. I mean, even in touring, like what we've done on this tour, like every day we've been playing, we're up to 16 shows in a row. Not everybody can handle that. That's kind of why you have these revolving doors of band members leaving, because some of them go, wow, I didn't know touring was going to be like that. And some of them are more into it for the money, and if you get into this business thinking about that, you probably would quit right away, because it doesn't happen right away. It takes time to where you start financially being, stable. But yeah, the guys that have been with me now, the Harrison brothers have been with me for 13 years, and our drummer's been with us like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, it's good to have a steady lineup, but you also got to know what you're in for. Like, you play in different weather, whether we're in South America, we come here, it's really cold or raining, or, it's a lot of hard work that not all musicians can handle. But luckily the guys I have right now, they're road warriors. They've proven it, especially on this tour.
You live in this tiny...
You live in small quarters,
for a long time, so they have to be the right...
I mean, even the first 4 days of this tour, we were in a van. Just a van.
Just a van.
Real tough. And we're doing like 9 and 10, 11-hour drives. So you really got to know each other to get along. But I love it. Like, we're a family, and we just try to work hard, and the fans make it all worth it. This tour has been phenomenal. And we did 4 shows in France before we went into Switzerland, and it was amazing. And Switzerland was really good last night, so we're looking forward to today.
Was it an open air concert?
No, we've been doing club shows and open air festivals. We did the Brutal Assault Festival, which was phenomenal. That was a really good show. Before that, we were in Spain. We did a big festival with Sax, and so and it's cool for us, because for an underground band to be playing with some of these bands that have been around even longer than us and that are big, it's really good. I can't complain.
Yeah, you seem just like to have settled in this whole style of life.
I've gotten more used to it. It's not, like I said, it wasn't easy. The first few European tours we did almost killed us, because we would do like 23 shows in 25 days with, and the 2 days we had off weren't really off. We were traveling like 11-hour, 15-hour drives. So yeah, but after a while you get used to it, and you try to take better care of yourself. Even though with our band it's hard, because our fans like to party, and they party fucking hard,
And they want you to party with them.
Yeah, and they don't realize we got a gig that like 10 hours from then, and we still got like a 5 or 8 hour drive to get to that gig. Like even now, like after this interview, which I'm glad you guys came in, and thanks for the support. Even right after this interview, I gotta get ready, and then we hit the stage. So, but it's all worth it. Everything that we're doing is worth it. Yeah.
For 30 years now.
30 plus.
Or longer.
Yeah, I'm glad to still be around, though, because like I said in the beginning of this interview, there's not too many guys that are still around from the original days,
People see you, and my question when I saw they have a black singer. So I was like, have you ever been confronted with some kind of racism too in the metal business, or really, with fans or something?
No, I mean the only time I ever had it happen, it wasn't even music related. I was off a day off in Germany. We were in the Reeperbahn, which is a fun place to party. Hamburg, Germany, the Reeperbahn. And I ran into some soccer fans that were pissed off because their team had won. So I think they were just looking for something somebody to mess with. Yeah. But what was really cool about it, I had seen Rose Tattoo a couple of days before that at a concert. I went and checked out Rose Tattoo. And I didn't realize that this guy that owned a bar where these soccer fans were trying to mess with me, he came out and he goes, "I saw you at Rose Tattoo." And he's a biker, big biker guy. And he goes, "Come in."
Mess with the people at the Reeperbahn.
He goes, come into my bar and hang out here. And then the soccer fans went away because they were scared of him because he was a big biker. So, and that was awesome because it showed that there was a brotherhood between even Rose Tattoo fans. Like, this guy backed me up just because he knew I was a Rose.
And you remembered.
And I never forgot that. But that's the only time I've really been through it. I'm sure there are people that have different opinions, but I've never been confronted with it, which I appreciate because I just think people got to do what they got to do, and I love metal, and skin color shouldn't matter as long as the music's fucking heavy, you know?
Yeah, of course, but you know the people, you know?
Some people are ignorant, but I don't let it bother me just because I also know that there's a lot of people that love what we do, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep doing it.
In metal, there is no race.
Yeah, there's no, and to me,
no religion.
Metal is my religion. I don't really believe in anything else but heavy metal and the brotherhood and sisterhood that I have within that. Yeah. You know, it's awesome. I love what I do, and I'm going to keep doing it.
You keep going. That's cool for us because there will be more to come.
Oh yeah, okay. Even today. Today's going to be a good one.
We're looking out for that. I say thank you for the interview, and I hope to have you around for a long time.
I hope so too. Hopefully health willing, and the metal gods looking down on me. Hopefully everything will work out. But thanks for the interview. We'll see all of you guys on the road. Metal forever.